welcome to the Late Night Snacking Podcast.
We're your hosts, Devin and Anita, and this is our weekly podcast where we grab a blanket and some snacks and talk about all things relationships, growing pains, and navigating through, honestly, life itself.
We hope our experiences encourage others to grow to become the best versions of themselves, and for their relationships. Grab a snack and let's go! What is up, snackers?
What's happening?
Woo!
What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Welcome back to the pod.
Welcome back to the Late Night Snacking Podcast.
The what?
The most honest podcast, the most open podcast, and the most wholesome podcast in the world.
Woo! Welcome back to the pod, y'all. Hey, it's
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but so last week we didn't pod. I'm telling y'all, this is just I hate
told
it.
y'all life be life.
Yeah, I hate it for y'all this season specifically, but like life and like wedding stuff, like stuff is just coming in left and right, and we're rolling with the punches as best as we can. So that is happening, and then we have been going live. So sorry to our audio listeners. So this is like our first time back in a week, and this is our first time back on like audio podcasting too in like a while. I think the last time an audio episode went up was like back in September, and we're in November. Yeah. So
our fault, y'all boys, over there on the
audio
platform.
side. I'm hoping like it's because we put so much time and effort into the YouTube that I'm like, I wish people would just like hop over to the YouTube, but like I understand
it's
people
easier that way, honestly.
Yeah, but I do understand people that like just like to turn on a podcast like while they're driving and stuff and don't have to, like, they're not going to do that with a YouTube video. So
Right.
I get it. I understand. So we apologize for that, but we are back, and we intend, strong emphasis on intend, we intend to bring y'all including this one, 4 more good like video and audio podcasts for the season. So
we got some guests coming too.
I know. So I was going to say, before we hop into like snacks and all that, I want to give y'all like the rundown of what is happening for the rest of the season. We'll remind y'all at the end, of course, but just so y'all are aware, and if you're new, you might not know how we do things in December, so I just want to like give everybody an overlook on what we got going on. So while I pull up a calendar, let them know about the guest stuff we have coming up.
Oh man, we got some. I ain't gonna tell y'all who yet. I can't do that. I ain't finna spoil it like that.
Okay.
But yeah, we got some fire coming, man.
We have two
It's 2 guests actually.
2 guests. Very excited. 2 probably like polar opposite type conversations we're gonna have. So I'm excited for that, to give y'all some, some dynamics going on. But yes, okay. So y'all okay. Y'all are watching / listening to this on Wednesday, November 8th. So our next episode will be a guest episode on November 15th. The Wednesday after, we will have another guest episode on the 22nd. And then November 29th will be our last episode of season 4. So, season 4? Season 3? Oh my God. Are we season 4? Are we season 3?
Forgetting.
Whoa.
Oh my God. What season are we? 3? The silence is so loud.
This is crazy.
We are season 4. Okay.
Ooh.
Why couldn't you just tell me? Why'd you have to let me struggle like that? Okay. The 29th will conclude season 4. And then that will be just the me and Devin episode. giving y'all the OG, the rundown, how we usually do, and all that good stuff. Okay, so December, if you were not here for our little Vlogmas fun last year, this year we are doing the same thing. So every December we pretty much vlog during the month instead of doing regular podcast episodes. This is so y'all can still get content, but it's not as strenuous on us to like come up with topics, discuss, like do all that good stuff. It's just more fun, more light. We do like Christmas themed things. I think last year we decorated the tree. We did like cookie decor stuff. Yeah. We took y'all home with us when we went to see family for Christmas and stuff like that. So same vibes this year. This year will be fun because we have HB with us, so it adds a little bit.
His first Christmas.
Oh, I'm so excited. So yes, we'll have Hendrix with us, and that'll just be another fun dynamic to the the Wansley crew. So we shall see how that goes. I think last time we gave y'all like 4 solid vlogs for like each week. So we'll probably going for the same thing. At least once a week, y'all will get a vlog from us. If we're feeling, we got time on our hands and we want to give y'all a little bit more, we might slip in 2 vlogs in a week. We're going to have to see how our December goes. But the goal is once a week, y'all will see us like you usually do now. So, yeah. I really would love if y'all could like participate, and I'll put up a poll on our IG story and stuff and on our page. Let us know what type of Christmas content you want to see. Like, do you want us to do
let us know.
Challenges like Christmas cocktail off, or like
that'd be crazy,
right? That's what I'm saying. So
I'll turn that up for you.
All right, now
I'll turn that up.
But like, if there's certain things y'all want to see that we didn't do last year, like if you didn't like the tree decorating and you want to see something else, like let us know. We want to like do stuff that y'all of course want to watch and stuff like that. So let us know. We will bring all the fun Christmas content that we can for December. And then of course, season 5, I know what season we're on. Season 5 will start back up in January, and of course, like we always do, we will give y'all a little calendar so you know exactly what day we're coming back, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we'll put y'all on game.
Season 5 is gonna be some it's gonna be different because that is starting the year of us getting married, so we're just gonna be turned on a whole different level.
Yeah.
We're gonna be 4 months out by that point, so yeah, we're gonna be
crackhead
activities will commence in 2024, and I'm ready for it. So okay, enough blabbering about what's gonna be happening next season. Let's get to what is happening tonight. Before we do any of that, of course, y'all already know, let's tap in with the snacks. What we got.
I know what I'm on. The granola bar, the chewy, peanut butter, chocolate chip.
Of course. Let them know where it's from.
Millville brand, so you know it's from Aldi.
We should
that's how we rock it, man.
We should come up with like a jingle for our podcast and Aldi and pitch it to them.
I'm good.
Our exhaustion with getting Aldi to recognize us.
Because, bro, they can't even. Yeah, no, I'm not finna get up here and make no song for these.
But hear me out, because Slick, when we were in the store the other day, you had a good idea. So Aldi now has like Aldi merch. Like they got like tumblers, hats, towels, shirts, PJs,
all
like
types of
decked out. So Devin was like, what if we like bought Aldi merch and like wore it on the show? And I don't hate that idea. It's just, it's what we always risk. We're just putting money in their pockets for them to not give 2 shits about who me and you are.
But take all our grocery money though.
Every 2 weeks. Like clockwork. Alrighty. So what I have is some Halloween candy. Happy Halloween.
Wow.
I know we are like, what, a week out from Halloween? I think exactly a week out, actually.
Yep. Oh, so some week-old candy.
Yeah, nice little Tootsie Roll Pop. Drop in the comments, how many licks does it take to get to the middle? I'll let y'all know at the end. I'm just kidding. I'm probably not going to finish this.
That was crazy.
It was,
Wow.
I'm trying to let y'all know, like, what flavor it is. Okay, it's raspberry. I rocks with raspberry. Okay. I'm with it. So we got a raspberry Tootsie Roll Pop on deck for my snack. Oh, I believe we asked y'all for costumes. Did you get any costumes? I know on my end I did not. Oh, wow. So y'all are sending them to Devin, but you're not sending them to me. Oh. Oh, okay. That's fine. I see how it is. I'm not offended, but I am. Word. Okay, so you got something.
I got an old like costume pick. I didn't get like a recent one.
Wow. Okay. Noted. Not asking y'all to do shit anymore.
Shout out to Kalila in the morph suit.
Hey!
The tie-dye morph suit.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing with y'all, but I hope y'all had a good Halloween. I hope y'all had trick-or-treaters come through because we did not. And I hope you ate some good candy. Yeah.
No, I'm pissed because
Oh.
I'm glad I went to Dollar Tree to get that candy.
I
y'all
said the
thought that
same.
was slick.
I said the same.
See, y'all thought I was finna come out there and have all the M&Ms. Nope. You getting lollipops and ring pops. So all you getting.
It just sucks for us because...
And we didn't get not one trick-or-treater. Now, crazy thing is, last year, we got caught slipping.
I know.
Well, we had trick-or-treaters,
Yes.
but we didn't have nothing for them.
Yep.
So I was like, let me be prepared this year. We got all 4 bags of candy still sitting in that bowl.
But the sad thing is, like, it's not candy that, like, we normally eat. So it's
just sitting there.
It's like decoration.
God, it's so stupid.
For the 2 people that live here.
From now on, we ain't celebrating Halloween because y'all ain't no need.
And it was weird, too, because it felt like nobody trick-or-treated in the neighborhood.
Right.
Like, everybody's lights were off. I didn't see one costume of a child walking by. Like, it was radio silence that entire night.
Street lights was off.
What is up with that?
So it was like, yeah, nah, y'all ain't doing that around here.
Why do you think that is? Do you think people were, like, going to other neighborhoods? Do you think people went to, like, Scarewinds? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably, took them to a neighborhood or something.
I mean, we are a neighborhood.
Yeah, but we ain't living like them boys down the road. We ain't living
and
like
that's
them boys
the truth,
down there.
okay? When we don't have,
I know exactly where they went. They went right down to the Palisades. That's where they went.
They hop state lines.
Sure, man, look.
Candy does not discriminate by the state.
Man, they packed their kids up and went straight to Palisades.
I mean, it's only 10 minutes down the road. Shit, I would have gone down there too.
Lake Wiley got all the love for Halloween. I know they did.
It's because they knew we were going to come out with like Tootsie Pops and stuff like that. They don't want that shit. They want the M&Ms, the Snickers. While we're here, before we hop into the topic, what is your Halloween candy, like choice of candy? This has been a great debate on different people's platforms for the past week.
I don't even think I really have one. It's just so it's so many to choose from.
Okay,
Peanut M&Ms.
Let me list off 5. Okay,
like Snickers, like it's crazy.
Okay,
Baby Ruth.
Snickers, peanut M&Ms, Twix, Reese's. Ew, why did I say it like that? Reese's Cups, and damn, what's another good one? Sour Patch Kids. If those 5 are sitting in a bowl, what are you grabbing?
If I have to pick one?
Out of the 5. Because I'm going Reese's Cup every time.
Okay. I was going to say either that or the Snickers.
Okay. I feel like people sleep on Snickers.
Snickers is lit.
That's my mom's like favorite candy, and I don't blame her because it is like pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to see where you stood on that great debate.
Oh yeah, we living like that over here.
Word. I mean, we ain't got the candy in our house, but if
Yeah, no, we ain't living like that, but we living like that, though.
Right. Okay, I just had to make sure. All right, y'all. We gonna stop bullshit.
Yeah.
And get to the point. Okay, so no unpack the snack tonight, only because there's like a couple things I want to talk about during this episode. So like, we're not gonna waste time on an unpack the snack because we'll end up unpacking topics later. Okay, so first thing first, or as we miss calling it, le topic.
Yeah, fill them in on the topic, man.
Okay, so I say this every time, but I was listening to a podcast. Either that or I was on
Every
TikTok.
episode, I was listening to
a podcast or I was on TikTok. And it was a clip I saw, but then I went back and actually listened to the episode. So it was a clip of, she's a pretty popular influencer. I would say she's about, I'm 26. I'd give her like 24, 25. She's married. She's got 2 kids. And in the clip, she was pretty much saying like, sometimes I feel like I have an identity crisis because me and you, she's talking to her husband because her and her husband have a podcast. She was like, I feel like me and you got together really young and we got married really young and had kids really young, that like sometimes I don't know who I would be if it weren't for you. Like she was like, you changed like my eating habits, my career, because they do like social media and stuff, and that was more of like the husband's thing, and she is also now an influencer. So she was like my career, my hobbies, like how I live my day to day, how I eat, like she was like, all of that is influenced by you. And she's like, sometimes I like think about how different of a person I would be had I not married you and like been with you. Like, would I be totally different? Would I be into the same things? I don't know. So she was like, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes I just feel like I have an identity crisis of like, I don't know who I am outside of you, is pretty much what she was saying. So our topic is pretty much just talking about like, let's unpack this. Like, what is this identity crisis thing that she's talking about? Is this common in relationships? Is this only more in young relationships? Like, can people years in experience this sort of identity crisis? So we're going to unpack that, talk to each other a little bit about that. Have we ever felt that way? Yada, yada, yada. And then there's something towards the end that I also want to unpack that doesn't have anything to do with this topic. But, okay. So from that, from what she was saying, like, do you feel like this is something that's pretty common? Because I'll say right now, people were, as they always do on the internet, very much roasting in the comments, saying, that she needs to leave him and you don't know who you are without him, yada, 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 all this stuff. So what is your take on this identity crisis thing?
I mean, I look at it like,
okay.
What do you... Wait, no. She just took her sucker and dipped it in her glass of water.
If you have ever eaten a Tootsie Roll Pop, these things are dry as hell. It doesn't matter how much saliva you're putting on them. They are not... It's like I'm eating a piece of sandpaper. Like, this is not okay. So I had to...
Just dip it in water.
A little bit, yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh, my God, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my God. So...
Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of easy to feel that way. You know what I mean? Because I feel it'd be the same if, like... I don't know if they have kids or not, but...
They do. They have 2.
Okay, well, see, like, being a mom or whatever, like... When you're just doing mom duties all day, every day, it's kind of hard for you to think of yourself like as something else other than just a mom.
Yeah, or like a wife.
Yeah, right. Or like you said, like a wife or anything. So I mean, I do get that, but I feel like that comes from like you not really knowing who you are from the get-go before stepping into the relationship. Okay,
talk about that a little bit more. What do you mean by that?
For instance, like with us, like not to make it seem like, you know, me being like boastful or anything like that. Like I be popping some shit sometimes, but this ain't that type of thing. Like, but like I was already like somebody before we started dating.
I understand.
Like I already kind of had like my own thing going on, like with as far as like my character and who I am. Mm-hmm. Like I had already tapped into who I was supposed to be,
sure,
or who I'm, you know, it's like who I am for real. So I didn't like need to search for that anywhere else or try to get that together before we met. That was just how I came to you in that form.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I was already, like, you know, doing paintings and stuff, taking care of plants, like buying plants and stuff like that. Just, like, you know, like little shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already, like, doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, playing soccer and stuff. Like, I always had, like, little hobbies before we started dating. So, I kind of already knew who I was or who I was supposed to be. I feel like if you haven't experienced that, like, if you don't quite know, and not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you hadn't quite like just kind of figured yourself out, I guess in a sense, like who you are, like morality wise and like character wise, like then yeah, it's easy for you to get caught up in like who you are versus like your title.
Yeah. Like this new thing that you've become. Mm-hmm. A wife, a mother, a husband, a dad. I agree.
Because like when I tell people, like not to cut you off, but like when I describe you to people, or like if I describe like stuff that you do, I was like, oh, like yeah, like oh, you know, are you with somebody or whatever? Like yeah, I'm engaged. She was on the dance team for Clemson. She was on the Clemson dance team. Like I tell people that, like, because to me, like you're a dancer, bro. Like that's what you do. That's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call you by whatever it is that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, like, I want to pose like not a devil's advocate, but just like a question, I guess. So you were saying like for people to try and find that individuality.
Yeah.
Before you get into the relationship. Do you feel like people are maybe very easily influenced by their partner if they haven't already found that in themselves? Yeah.
Because that's when you get like that. I feel like that's where like the super clinginess comes from.
Sure.
Because like now, like you know nothing about football, but because he's into football, like now you want to
this
talk
is your
about,
thing.
Oh, look, it's a home run. Like no, bro, it's called a touchdown.
Oh my God. You're terrible.
Like you start getting like heavy into like the things that he enjoys doing.
Sure.
But a friend of ours brought a very interesting point. He mentioned that like he doesn't care for his partner to be at like his games and stuff like that, or when he goes to go play soccer or something like that. Like he doesn't care for her to be there. Like that's something that he's gonna do regardless if she shows up or not. Like
sure,
he doesn't care. That's one thing of his.
It
that
brings
he likes.
him joy.
He doesn't. Yeah, basically, he doesn't want to share that.
I feel like that makes sense,
and that's fair.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I had never heard nobody explain that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like if you understand and you understand type thing. But I was just like, wow, like it's a very different perspective. I've never like really thought about.
I could say the same thing about like going to bar and stuff like that. Like I never desire you to be there in a workout class with me or whatever. One, it's because I look like a freaking psycho in there and you don't need to see that. But two, kind of like what your friend was saying, like it's something that's for him and he's going to do it whether his partner is there or not. And like I thoroughly enjoy going to bar, and like it doesn't bother me that you're not super involved in like that part of my life, because that is something that I do for me and like my mental health, my physical health, and like just my overall joy. Like that is something that I do for me. So I mean that makes sense. I kind of like that point. I feel like people should have that in relationships, like things that are theirs, and like you're okay if your partner is not like totally in tune with that specific part of your life. Like, yeah, maybe they ask you questions about it just to like show interest, but like they don't need to be there holding your hand every step of the way through that part.
Message, because that's where the that's where your individuality is.
Yeah.
Is that one thing outside of outside of your relationship or outside of being a mom that you have that nobody else, or I put it this way, that you don't give anybody else access to?
Now, I think that's where the clip that I saw came into play because, and I want to circle back to that because that's what we're talking about, but I think that's the part that she's missing because I don't think what she was saying was necessarily bad. And we'll talk about it in a second, how I think this is a totally normal thing for people to feel and that people shouldn't like harp on people for this. But like, I feel like that's what she's missing. So I watched the entire episode, which gave me context to the clip. Make sure y'all are doing that. I feel like we get on social media and we like take clips out of context, and like it would help for people to like go and look at the full scope of things. We are very much hypocrites in that with the whole Jada and Will situation. There's interviews, there's books that we haven't read and stuff like that. So like I can't sit here and say much, but I'm saying as much as you can, like do your research and watch clips. So I watched the interview, and what led into her saying that was her husband bought her a ripstick because apparently
buying somebody a ripstick is crazy.
Listen, I guess
that's nasty.
That was like a hobby of hers.
Anybody who ever wrote a ripstick is disgusting. That's nasty work. Yeah, that's nasty work. We're not doing that.
I gotta pull one up.
Go get up on a skateboard, bro.
For reference.
Quit faking it.
A
ripstick.
Yeah.
Well, you had to like you had to literally twist your hips in order to like.
Yeah, I'd Target for $59.99 if you want to go purchase one. But basically, like.
Don't do that.
According to Devin, do not.
Don't do that.
But so he bought her a ripstick. Apparently, that was something that she was like really into doing at some point in time, and she was telling him like, I don't even know like if I even like doing that anymore, or like if I like. I don't even know if I remember how to like get on it. She's like, it's been so long, yada, yada, yada. And then she went into like, sometimes I feel like I have an identity crisis because like I used to like doing that stuff, but this was like way earlier, like when we first started dating. And then like now I do stuff that like you like, and like we do different stuff together, and like I don't even do that anymore. So that's pretty much where she was coming from in terms of that. But like, I think that's what she's missing is like separate hobbies outside of her husband and her children. And like, it's not bad to have those things in a relationship. Like you shouldn't feel selfish for having hobbies.
It's necessary, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. We harp on that a lot. Like we say that a lot to like have hobbies and things you like to do outside of your partner. But I think it contributes to like having this whole identity crisis of like, who am I outside of my partner if I'm not doing things that I used to like to do before my partner came along? There's nothing wrong with like, and this is kind of what I want to get into, like, I think people were looking at what she was saying as a bad thing because they're like, wow, you're basically like a whole new person because your husband basically like shaped you into like this new person. But as they went further on into the video, they both talked about how they've both changed each other, like in different ways, which to me is like healthy. Like we were talking about it the other day, like things that we've picked up from each other and like ways that you act now versus how you acted before we got together, and like vice versa, like how we've kind of changed each other, but we still have individual traits and characteristics that we had before, like outside of each other. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know. Do you think it's a bad thing? Like getting into a relationship with somebody and realizing that like a lot of what you do now is influenced by your partner. like a lot of who you are and what you do is very much influenced by your partner.
No, not necessarily, because we're all shaped by motivations of something or somebody else. Mm-hmm. So because you're my partner doesn't make it any different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like it's inevitable,
yeah,
considering you're the person that I spend the most time.
Exactly. So
with.
we're gonna pick things up from each other, learn
Yeah.
different things from each other, pick up certain habits and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, so I think, because like I said earlier, she's 24, I think, and he might be like 25, 26. I think a lot of it does have to do with them getting together and getting married young. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wanted to touch on that because we are also a couple that is like getting married in our 20s/late 20s, which to some people is considered early.
Yeah.
Like getting married in your 20s and stuff like that. So do you feel like this is something that's just because they got married young? Or do you feel like couples at any stage in their life can have this sort of like identity crisis? Are you really doing this right now?
Yeah. It's because I had to. I'm sorry.
Did you?
My fault.
Really? Did you hear any of that?
I did.
Okay. Gotta clear the throat.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Do you think it is because they are young, or do you think couples in a later stage in their life can also go through this?
Can they have the same thing?
Can they also go through this like identity crisis?
Yeah, identity crisis don't have an age on it, I don't think. Yeah, you can not feel like you don't know yourself at any point. I feel like.
I almost feel like it's inevitable to happen later down the line than it is early on. And maybe, okay, let me take that back. I don't mean it like in terms of time. I mean in terms of like life events. So like, I feel like she feels this way now because she is married with 2 kids at a certain point. I feel like I might even feel this way married with 2 kids whenever we get to a 2 kids point. Like, it's not because she's 25. It's because she's reaching milestones in her life that is changing her as a person and pulling her further and further away from the person she came in to the relationship as.
Right.
Does that make sense? So, I don't know. It was just interesting to me that people were, like, trying to dog on her for that and being like, oh, wow, this sounds like it's headed for divorce, or like, oof, like if you've already lost yourself, like go ahead and see your way out. Like,
but we know the internet is not the place for anything
it's
like
terrible,
this anyway.
but I really do feel like people in that situation, like in relationships, they may feel like they don't, like they've lost themselves or they don't know themselves and might use that as like, oh, let me get out. Right. Which like is not always the case. Like you very well may be feeling like this because you're experiencing like different milestones and like, I don't know, maybe like a friend has passed or a parent has passed or something, like something has changed in your life that is now molding you into a new being. Like who I am right now is not going to be who I am after we are married. It's not going to be the same person as like when I'm a mother. It's not going to be the same person when our dog passes, or I'm not going to be the same person when like a parent passes or a close friend passes, or I get like a super huge promotion. I'm going to be a totally different person. Like, and I'm not saying in terms of like personality, I'm just saying like these different milestones and life things that are happening are shaping me. Yeah. Exactly. Like, so some things build me up, some things bring me down. Like I'm going to just be molding into like a different person than I was before the milestone happened. So I just, I don't want people that may be going through this to feel like they have to like leave their relationship or do this entire soul searching when that very well may not be what is happening to them. Now, if you're in a relationship, maybe it's toxic and like you do feel like you've uprooted your whole life and changed it for this person, and maybe you're not a better version of yourself and you feel like a worse version of yourself and you want to soul search there and leave, totally different. I'm just saying for people who are like in healthy relationships that maybe just feel really different from the person they came in as and are kind of having this identity of crisis of like, who would I be if it wasn't for my partner? Like, would I like the same things? Would I eat the same foods? Would I live in the same place? Like, all of those things are altered by who you end up being with, because this is somebody that you are making decisions with, and your decisions affect them and their decisions affect you. So like, you're ever changing. So I don't know. I just think it's an interesting topic. Like, I think it's normal to feel like that, to feel like you wouldn't know. Now, I will say,
we all experience it at least once in our life.
I think more.
At some point.
Yeah, I think more than once. And I think it's okay to like feel like that. I think what helps is what we were saying earlier in terms of like, what do you do outside of your partner that is for you? Like, because that is what helps you find that and remember that part of you that was you before you came into this relationship. So yeah, I don't think there's anything, but on the flip side, I don't think there's anything wrong with emulating things that your partner is doing and like finding interest in things that your partner is interested in, or if your partner moving to where your partner lives, like there's nothing wrong with like changing your life and yourself for like your partner or whatever, and like picking up on things that they're doing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you still have something or even multiple things for you outside of that. Like, there's still a part of you that is separate from girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife. Like, there's a part of you that is just you, and not, like Devin said earlier, like, who are you outside of that title that you have with this person.
And a lot of times all that stuff follows suit if you just be.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I am who I am. You know what I mean? Like, you are who you are. You just have to be, and everything else will follow in. You'll figure out who you are, or at least who you're supposed to be in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And what that looks like. But yeah.
I like it. Just thought that was interesting. I just feel like it's more common than we think to like feel like that. And people in the comments were like, I just feel like this should have been a private conversation, and like they're like sharing all of this and like but I disagree. I think it's good that they show that this is like a very normal conversation to have with your partner. It's not taboo to tell your partner, I feel like I'm kind of losing myself. Like, I just feel like I'm not myself sometimes. I don't really know who I would be outside of you. Like, it's not mean to tell your partner that or like what you're feeling. So yeah, I like that they had that conversation on camera for other people to see and relate to, because it is relatable. It's the type of content that I want us to be able to provide here for you guys too. Like, I don't know if there's conversations that we've had that y'all are like, ooh, like they should have had this off camera. Like, I don't ever want y'all to feel that way. Like, I want people to be able to relate to what we're saying, at least on some level. But you know, you can't please everybody, but I like that topic. I thought that was very interesting, especially since we are also a couple in our 20s, like about to get married. So
yeah, very relatable, very deep.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on that topic before we go on our quick tangent before closing out? No. Okay. So another TikTok / podcast thing. I'm so sorry. They make for great topics for us to like just scramble and like go off on, but
I bet they do.
They do, because now our snackers get to hear the different topics. But So a couple weeks ago, we were on live talking about the whole Will and Jada situation, specifically about how we don't agree with the way they quote unquote protect/don't protect their relationship. To a degree, I still stand on that opinion, but there are a lot of details and intricacies about the relationship that we don't know. We ended up on the Jada side of TikTok on on that one. So they were not in agreement with what we were saying, which is fine. Not everybody on the internet is going to be. But the part that I did want to like bring back up or rediscuss about the Will and Jada situation was about how it's very interesting that they are showing a very non-traditional type of relationship.
Yeah.
Like they are doing all this wild shit, but still at the end of the day choosing, emphasis on choosing, making a conscious decision to stay with one another. So I was listening to a podcast, of course, and it was this girl talking with her parents, and she was basically saying that her parents are very similar to the Jada situation, to where they kind of have this like toxic dynamic, and everybody outside thinks that they should just break up and like divorce and not be together, but they still choose to stay with each other. And it's been 41 years. Her parents have been together. They have 2 kids, like, and they're still like on again, off again. And they've been in it for 41 years, but they're still married. So I wasn't looking at Will and Jada from that lens until I listened to that hour-long conversation and was like, damn, there are really couples out here that are just like Will and Jada, just not plastered in the media like Will and Jada. But there are very much people out here that are in this like, okay, we're together, we're not together, we're together, we're not together. But no matter what, we are married, and that label is still there. But like, oh, we might get a divorce. Oh, okay, no, we're gonna like work it out. Okay, we don't live together, but we're still married. Like there's like things that are very non-traditional that play out like Will and Jada. It's just they're not like in the shining light for everybody to see. So my question, I guess, to pose to you and like listeners and stuff like that, is just like, how much is enough? Like, at what point is it like fighting for your relationship, and at what point is it like almost ridiculous that like these people are still together? Is it even up to us to say that it's ridiculous if they're choosing to stay together? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to call a spade a spade. It is ridiculous.
Okay.
It's a circus, like, legit.
I'm not talking about just Will and Jada. I'm talking about the dynamic of, like, people who it may look tumultuous on the outside, but they still choose to be together, even after all these years.
I don't know. Like, to me, like, if you get married, there is no divorce. Because the thing is, it didn't have to be that way in the first place. But because of emotions or whatever was so high in the air that you felt like you had to go and make a whole commitment in front of God to be with this person for the rest of your life. And then when things turn out the way that you don't like them, you can just, oh, well, I don't want to do this no more. Why is this one choice have to come with a cop out, have to come out with something like that? Had it been me and I made this whole thing, there would be no divorce. If you was, once you got married to somebody, that was it. You with them until the day you die.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could remarry if your spouse died or whatever. But bro, like, there should be no cop out for that. It shouldn't be, in my opinion. You made the decision to make such a big commitment. live by it, stand by it. No
Yeah.
matter how hard it is, yeah, it may suck. But guess what? It didn't suck when you went and made the commitment. It didn't suck. Mm-hmm. It was perfectly fine then.
Yeah.
So why isn't it fine now?
So
And that usually comes because both parties have changed somewhere for the worse. And that's how you get that. But that's neither here or there.
I just think it's interesting because, like, people are very quick, and this was also us, what we were saying about, like, Will and Jada and stuff like that. Like, oh, they should just get a divorce. They should just get a divorce. But, like, it's kind of like what you were just saying. Like, they are, now, mind you, a lot of this they are sharing. So we're, like, digesting what they're giving us, basically. But they're very much living their relationship for everyone to see. So every downside they have, we see it. Every upside, show up together at an award show, slap somebody for chivalry, like we see it. So these are not, like, normal relationships do not play out like that in front of millions of people. Like, so, like, they probably have the same mindset that you are saying. Like, there is no divorce. Like, It doesn't matter what type of shit that we're going through. I don't care how silly we look to the public. Like, I don't care. I don't care if we decided not to be together and you are choosing to sleep with somebody else in this house. We are not getting a divorce. So, like, now, are my standards of what makes a marriage the same as what they think makes a marriage? Yeah. No. But that is, if both of them are deciding that that is okay and they want to stay together, then that is on them. Like, so it was just interesting, like, listening to that girl's parents talk, because I'm like, real people are like this, not just celebrities. Like, real people are living this day to day. Like, we got married, we made this commitment to each other. I don't care how miserable things are right now. Like, we are gonna make it work. Like, and if that means we don't live in the same house, if that means we sleep in separate beds, if that means we coexist, we are staying married. Like, some people are really okay with that and function through life. And her parents made it they're 41 years deep to where they're like, we are still, after all this, after highs and lows, like,
well, see, that's
tumultuous fights, like, we are still choosing to stay together.
Right. And so that brings me to my point of, like, once that's been decided, I feel like both parties need to get back to work and fix it.
Agreed.
Because the decision's been made that you're choosing each other, even at the toughest time when you don't like the other person. So if that's going to be the end all be all, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Get back to work and try to fix it. Reintroduce yourselves if you have to. Start all the way over from scratch.
Yep.
Just pretend like, you know, and I know that's much easier than saying.
It is.
But
the principle is there.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But, bro, like, really reintroduce yourself. Like,
literally.
Have that, and I'll tell you what it is. Having that awkward conversation or uncomfortable conversation, that needs to happen for, like, the first 10 hours. Like, just start over from scratch and then just go from there.
Yeah.
Drop any type of baggage you might have for the other person or your own, whatever. Clean slate. Like I said, it's easier said than done. But that's just what I think. Because it makes no sense for you to be like, okay, we're going to stick this out, but I'm going to be miserable doing it. No.
Yeah.
We're not finna go into this self-sacrificing thing either. Like, don't self-destruct. You know what I mean? Like, just legit make the best. But I understand you put yourself in, that's a very sticky situation.
It is.
Because now you can't make that person want to do that. You know what I mean?
It has to be willing on both sides.
Yeah, it has to be mutual. So yeah, like, even then, if you want something, even if it's for the good, the other person just might be so worn and torn They don't have any more of that in them.
Left to give.
So, all that to say, make sure you are 100% sure.
Yeah.
Before you get married to somebody.
I do think,
you better be damn sure.
I do think, though, what you said is the key. And maybe that's why listening to that conversation with her parents didn't sell me all the way. Mm-hmm. Now, were they on that podcast to sell me on their relationship? Probably not. Oh, I think our battery's going to go soon, so we need to hurry up. But basically, like, you could tell that there were things that they need from each other that they have not worked on yet, but they've still decided to stay with each other at the end of the day, which is not healthy. Like, so I think the key to what you're saying is, okay, if you make a decision to, like, highs and lows, no matter what, to stick it out together, then that's where the work starts.
Right.
Like, y'all have been through hell and high waters. You're like, you know what? I love you. I want to choose you, and I want to stick this out. From that conversation is where the work needs to be put in to be like, how can we make this better to where this is not a living hell for both of us to exist with each other? I would love to keep going in on that, but our camera battery is about to die, and I don't want to leave us in a situation to where the video cuts off. So we're going to skedaddle. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and close it down. I hope y'all enjoyed this topic, or both topics.
Yeah, it was a little deeper than usual.
It was, but I don't know. But to me, it was like really relatable. Yeah. So I'm hoping, there goes the camera. Yeah. So, I hope y'all got something from this. I hope y'all enjoyed. We're going to go ahead and close it down. If you are watching on YouTube, you are now just looking at our thumbnail. Apologies for the camera. We did our best to make sure it was charged, and
yeah, we actually did charge it like how we were supposed to.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Don't know what happened with that. This is why we just go live.
Honestly.
But okay, so if you're on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment for us if you have comments on anything that we talked about. If you are an audio listener, yay, we are back. Make sure you are following us on Apple and Spotify. I think that is it. Do you have any last words?
Love, peace in the Middle East.
Okay.
For real.
Seriously, yeah. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all, and we will see y'all next Wednesday.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Bye.